بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أبنائي وبناتي طلبة وطالبات الصف العاشر، مرحبا بكم بعد إجازة العيد في درس جديد على الهواء على قناة عمان الثقافية. Dear students in grade 10, welcome again to another lesson. In today's lesson, we are going to practice some of the exam questions. We are not going to give you a new lesson, but we are going to practice an exam questions. As you can see on the blackboard, we are going to practice two questions, writing one and writing two. As you know, writing one and writing two is the last question in your exam. So in this lesson, you will practice answering final exam questions, writing one and writing two, and also you are going to learn top tips for about your writing, how to give a model answer in your exam question, okay, in both writing one and writing two. So as you can see here on the blackboard, we have here two questions, writing one and writing two, okay. In the first question, as you can see here, you will have a graph, figure, chart requiring students to write a summary of a chart. So in this question, you are going to give information about the chart, okay. So here we said write at least 80 words. You should write at least 80 words, not less than 80 words. Maybe if you write 85, 90, it's okay, but not less than 80 words, okay? For this question, you will the teacher will give you 5 marks out of 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. The second question, writing two, you are giving a set of instructions for the writing of formal letter and email. Look at this word, formal. It's not informal, it's formal, رسمي. رسالة رسمية, okay, or email, okay. So you should write at least in this question 100 words, 100 words at least, and the teacher, the award of overall score will give you 10 marks. So 5 marks for the first writing question and 10 marks for writing number 2. So let's go deeply and focus more on these two writing questions. If you remember in semester number 1, unit number 1, we have revised how to write or describe or write information about a graph or figure. If you remember these 4 shapes, what are these shapes? We have here pie chart, column chart, line chart, and bar chart. Okay, so picture number 1, what is it? Picture number 1, what is it? Yes, it's a pie chart. Pie chart, very good. Picture number 2, what is it? Picture number 2, yes, it's a line graph, very good, line graph. Picture number 3, column chart, because it looks like columns, yes, column chart. And the last one is bar chart, okay. So you should be able to notice or to know the difference between these 4 shapes, because you're going to write about them deeply. And the first sentence in your writing, you should know. For example, you said this the pie chart shows, or the column chart illustrates, for example. You should write the type of chart, okay? So let's play a quick game, okay? Here, as you can see, okay? So the first question, the first picture is line chart, very good. Again, the second question is pie chart. Number 3 is a column chart, and the last one is the bar chart. Okay, so let's return back to our lesson. So now I will give you 5 examples for how to write a summary of chart. I will give you 5 examples. So the first example, example number 1. It's called sports played by boys and girls, okay. So as you can see here, the exam question said, write a summary of the data in the chart. Write a text of at least 80 words. We should know that we should write at least 80 words. So before you going to write about this chart, you should look at the title of the chart. The title first. So the title said here, sports played by boys and girls in the IP school in 2018. So we know it's boys and girls. We know it's IP school, and we know it's sports, and we know it is in 2018. So we have 4 information on the title. You should write this information on the first sentence. So we look at down. We read about the sport: tennis, swimming, cycling, football, hockey, and running. Okay, so we have 2 columns. The first column is for boys, the black one, and the gray is for the girls. So we should know which is which. Okay, so number 1, the tennis. We have here numbers 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and 60. What are these numbers? These numbers are number of participants, المشاركين. أرقام المشاركين في المسابقات. Okay, so we have tennis, swimming, cycling, sports, hockey, and running. So we should look deeply. Which is the biggest or the most popular sport in this chart? Yes, it's football for boys. Okay, which is the least, يعني أقل شيء, which is the least sports? It's running for girls. It's about 5, I think 5, yeah. But which is more played by boys? Which is more played by boys? Tennis is more, cycling is more. Yes, football is more boys and then girls. Which is more girls than the boys? Swimming is more girls. Hockey is more, and running is more. So which is the more sports played in the school? I think it's football, because if you count, here we have 60. Here we have 60 boys, and here we have around 20. Okay, so the total number is 80 boys and girls. So which is the least popular sport here? I think it's running, because here it's around 5 boys and around 10. So the total is 15. So the football is 80 boys and girls, and running is about 50. So when we want to answer some questions about this chart, what is the chart about? The first question, yes, it is sports played by boys and girls in IP school in 2018. So this is the introduction for your exam question. For example, what is the most popular sport for boys? We said it is it's football. It's football. Yes. Which is the least popular sport for girls? Yes, it is running. Okay. It is running, yeah. And which sport are more popular with girls than boys? We said hockey, swimming, and running. The girls played it more than the boys. Okay, now let's look for this question. Okay, we want to put some words. If you remember, what's the type of this? Chart? It's the column chart. Very good. It's the column chart illustrates what? Sports. It illustrates sports played by boys and girls at the IB school in which year? Yes, it's in 2018. So this is the first sentence in your writing. Then you will write about the total, or the most and the least. So overall, boys at the IB school are more interested in playing sports than girls. Okay, The most popular sport for boys is, we said it's football, with a total of 60 boys playing the sport. And sport for girls, the most popular sport for girls is hockey, with a total of how many? Do you remember? Yes, 55 girls playing the sport. The least sport for both genders, boys and girls, I mean, is running, because with just five boys and 10 girls participating in the sport. A similar number of boys and girls play tennis. It is also a popular sport, but not as popular as football. Not popular as football, as hockey. The most significant difference in the type of sport played by boys and girls is, what is the most popular sport? Yes, it is football, because we look 60 with 20. 60 boys and 20 girls played this game. The most popular sport for boys is, but only 20 played the sport. To summarize, we can say some sports are more popular for boys than girls. So let's try to write this sentence. Let's try to write this sentence again. But I want you to look deeply at how to write this sentence. So in the first sentence, we said the type of the chart. So we said the column chart. The column chart. Then we said the verb illustrates or shows. We said illustrates. Illustrates what? What? It illustrates sports. Sport what? Played by boys and girls. Boys and girls. Where? At the IP school in 2018. So we should write all this sentence at the beginning. It should be clear where, when, and what. Okay, where, when, and what. Okay, the second sentence, if you remember, we said overall, boys at the IP school are more what? Are more interested in playing sports than girls. This is a general idea. Boys are more or interested in playing sports than girls. Then we should write at the most popular and the least popular. Okay, we said the most popular sport for boys is football. Is football, with a total, do you remember? With a total of 60 boys playing the sport. Then we should write about the least. So we should said the least. The least. What is it? Okay, the most also again, the most popular sports for girls is hockey. So we should write about the girls. Then with a total of 55 girls playing the sport. Okay, so now we are going to write about the least. Okay, the least, الأقل طبعا, the least popular sports for both genders, is running, with only 5 boys and 10 girls participating in the sport. Now we are going to write about the similarities. Okay, we said here a similar number of boys and girls, boys and girls play tennis, It is also a popular sport, but not as popular as football and hockey. The last sentence, we will write about the most significant difference. The last sentence is the most significant differences. Okay, so the most significant differences in the type of sports played, played by boys and girls is football, because we have 60 boys and 20 girls. So then we said this is the most popular sport for boys, but only 20 girls play the sport. Okay, so do you know how to write information about the chart? I will give you another example, inshallah. I will give you another example. So now this is the whole thing about the chart. So if you write like this, you will get the final number, or 5 out of 5. You should you should start your writing by saying the column chart illustrates sport played by boys and girls at the IB school in 2018. This is the introduction. Overall, boys at the IP school are more interested in playing sport than girls. The most popular sport for girls is football, with a total of 60 boys playing the sport. The most popular sport for girls is hockey, with a total of 55 girls playing the sport. The least popular sport for both gender is running, with only 5 boys and 10 girls participating in the sport. A similar number of boys and girls play tennis. It is also a popular sport, but not as popular as football and hockey. the most significant difference in the type of sport played by boys and girls is football. This is the most popular sport for boys, but only 20 girls play the sport. To conclude, some sports are more popular for boys and girls. So now let's get another example. Example number 2, social media used by men and women. I think this example is in your class book, unit 1. So as you can see here, we have two pie chart. So let's read the title here. The title of the chart here: social media used by men and women aged 18 to 24 years old in the USA 2018. So you should write all this information in the introduction. In the first sentence, you should write this pie chart illustrates something and something, as it's written here. The two pie chart illustrate the social media platform used by men and women in the USA aged 18 to 24 years old in 2018. So this is the introduction. Then you look deeply at the chart here, chart 1 and chart. This is for women, and number 2 is this is number 1 for men, and number 2 is for women. So you should look at the difference between social media used by men and social media used by women. As you can see here, the most popular social media used is Facebook, because we have here 39 for men and 40 for the women. So we should write the first sentence. Overall, Facebook is the most popular social media platform for both gender, with 40 at women and 38% of women using the website. Then you should look at the least popular type of social media for young women aged group is WhatsApp. Here, as you can see, WhatsApp is 9% for men and 10% used by women in USA. So we should say about is with only 9%. You should write the percent in your writing, the percentage. 9% of men and 10% of women using the application. Then you could compare the other things. So you know WhatsApp and Facebook are most and least. The most used is Facebook, and the least popular used is WhatsApp. So now we are going to look at Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. So Instagram is also used fairly equally by both men and women, with 18% and 20% representatively using the application. The most significant difference in social media differences between men and women is seen with Snapchat. Now look at Snapchat. Snapchat, here we have 21 for women using Snapchat, and only 11% used by men. So you should write about these things, these big differences, okay? And the last thing is the conclusion. Overall, social media used between young men and women in USA is fairly similar. It's not very big differences. The most significant difference between the genders is seen in the use of Snapchat and Twitter. Yeah, because we have here 22 for men and only 9% for women. This is the difference between them. Now, as you can see here, we have 5 parts for writing about the chart, or describing or write information about the chart. Here we have the first sentence. What does it say? It is yes, it's an introductory, because it's the beginning. This is the first sentence. Here is the introductory. Then we talk about what? Facebook is the most popular social media platform. So we talk about the most used. So here the highest proportion shown in the chart, yeah. And the second one is the least a description of the least, and then we have analysis of specific details in paragraph number 2. Okay, and the last one is the conclusion. So we have how many parts we have? We have 3 paragraphs at least, and we should write at least 5 sentences or more, because it is very important for writing the chart. Okay. So let's return back. Now here we have some words we can change with other words. To summarize, in general, show, men and women. On the other hand, main, while. For example, here the word illustrate, we can use another word. We can say show. Yeah. Here overall, we can say in general. Genders are both men and women. And also here the word in contrast means but or on the other hand. Here the word whereas, while. Here we said overall is to summarize. And the last one, the most significant, we could say the main thing. Okay, now example number 3. We have here students studying engineering at Australian University. I think you have done this with Mr. Hilal in semester 1 for the writing for unit 1, new media. But I will revise it very quickly. Here, write a summary of the data in the chart. Write a text of at least 80 words. So you can see here men and women. Here we said number of students studying engineering in Australia. Here we have 3 years, 1992 and 2002 and 2012. The blue column is for men. The blue is for men, and the red is for women. Hey, the number of participants start from 2,000 until 16,000. So now let's answer some question. How many years does the chart show information for? 1992, 2002, and 2012. So we have 3 years. What does the chart show information for? Men or women, or both men and women? As you can see here, we have men and women. Yes. The last question, how many men studied engineering in Australian University in 2012? How many the men? He is asking about the men in 2000, and here we have 12,000. So it's 2,000. So now let's read some sentence and circle if it's true or false. The bar chart shows the difference number male and female engineering students in 3 separate years. Yes, it's true. The number of male students rose at first. No. And the number of male students stayed at the same between 2nd and 2 years. Yes, it's true. The number of female students went up constantly. Yes. The number of women rose consistently until there were many girls, many women as men. No, because here we have 2,000 or 4,000, and here we have 14,000. So here we have some words: steady rise, no change, slight fall, sharp rise, steady fall, sharp fall, and slight rise. Okay, we have, as you can see here, a sharp rise. It starts from here and goes up. Slight rise, here, it's not very big. A steady rise, it's continually like that. No change, it's the same. Okay, a sharp fall, it's from here to here, sharp fall. A slight fall, it's little. Here, a steady fall, it's down straight. Okay, so now the bar chart illustrates. What do you say instead of it? It's introducing your analysis at the first. Okay, overall, summarizing the main trend. In contrast, expressing the contrast. Okay, arose, increase, grow is talking about number going up. These are the verbs used: rose, increased, and etc. And fell, dropped, decreased. These are talking about going down. Remind, steadily, and others talking about numbers staying at the same level. We can use this sentence. So the bar chart illustrates number of. We use of male and female engineering studying in 1992, 2002, and 2012. The number of female students fell quickly, significantly between this and this year and this year. The number of female students was half number of male students in. Before the year, we should use in. And in contrast, between 2002 2012, the number of female engineering rose from 4,000 to 6,000. You should be able to use this preposition. So the first sentence, the introduction, we said we write about what, where, and when to describe the chart. For example, we said the bar chart illustrates the number of men and women studying engineering at Australian universities between the year 1992 and 2012. You should write this introduction at the beginning of your writing. You should illustrate what, where, and when. Then you should write about the changes. It can be seen that the number of male students fell slightly from 14,000 in 1992 to 12,000 in 2002. Need some help, but informal we said, I am writing to request, I would like to. Informal we said, take care, thanks. But for the informal we said, kind regards and yours sincerely. Again, here we have for the greetings, we said hi there, hello. But for the informal, we said dear, to whom it concern. For the request, we said, can you help with? Or I am writing to request. Here we have, I need some help in the informal, but we said, I would like to. For closing, we said, take care or thanks. But for the informal, we said kind regards and yours sincerely. Now, let's read this information. Here we are going to change him from informal to formal. Hi, Mr. Report. No, we said dear Mr. Report for the informal. Because you're in exam, you are going to write informal. I want some information about wind weather. No, I am writing to request some information about wind power. Can you help me? No. We said, would you be able to help me? I also want to visit your wind farm. Thanks a lot. No, we said kind regards. Now, this is an example of for writing informal. I am a grade 10 students from Rustak. We are currently doing a project about recycling in Oman. Next month, we will have an Environment Day event at our school. I am writing because we would like to find an expert to give a short presentation at our event. I know that your company work to reduce waste in Oman. Therefore, I would like to invite you to our event and ask if you would be able to give a short presentation to the students. The event will be held in April 20th at 11 a.m. I look forward to hearing from you. Kind regards, Khalid. So the first one is the greeting. Hi or dear is the greeting. And the second part is introducing yourself. And then the purpose or the request, and then polite closing, and then sign out of your name. So now let's look at this type of letter again. We are going to here we have dear Mr. Brown. What is it? It is greeting. It is greeting. Dear Mr. Brown is greeting. I hope that you are very well. It is opening. It is opening the conversation or writing the first part of your letter. Then my name is. It is giving. Yes, giving. Here is your name. Here giving use your plan. And here, if a visit is possible, we would like to visit at the start of month. This is the closing, and here this is the request. So the closing, we said any help can be provided will be appreciated. Okay, so now let's return to our presentation. Here is an example, the same that we read it. So here we have, dear Mr. Brown is the greeting. I hope that you are very well. It is the opening. And here the two paragraphs are giving news and your plans. And before closing, you are giving a request. And then closing. And the last thing is writing your name. Now, let's play a game here. Here we have, we want to sort the word and write the sentence in the correct order. Okay, so help me if to ask, I am writing with be able to with my project. Now we are going to put this sentence in order. Okay, so now we are going to put this sentence in order. So here we said I am writing to ask if you would be able to help with to help me with my project. Okay, so you should write this sentence correctly. Then give the request. Would we would like to invent you to the science fair at our school next Monday. Here I am writing to ask whether it would be possible to visit your company. I am writing to ask whether it is possible to visit your company. The last thing, we are looking for a presenter. We are looking for a presenter for an Earth Day, يوم الأرض, event at our college. Now we should ask a question. Would you be available to give a presentation? Okay, So now we have finished this one. So let's return to our presentation. Now, to write a formal letter, first you should write Dear Mr. Smith, Dear Mr. Madam, or Dear to whom it may concern. Then you write a very short opening sentence. I hope that you are very well. For example, okay. Paragraph 1, introduce yourself. Say your name and other things. I am studying. And then paragraph 3, you are going to write a polite closing, and then you sign out. So this is an example. Dear Mr. Ahmed Al-Riyami, for example, I hope that you are very well. My name is Salim. I am a grade 10 students at Nizwa. I study Nizwa College for boys. We are currently studying about saving natural resources. We are asked to do a project, and then you are writing the request. I am writing because we would like to have an engineer from your company to give a presentation about how to conserve water and reduce wasting it. Therefore, I would like to ask you if you can send someone to give a short talk. Then you write any information you can provide would be greatly appreciated. And then you said kind regards and Salim. If you write like this, you will get the full mark, 10 out of 10. You should be organized in your writing. You should write correctly without any mistakes. And you should write in the same ideas or information that we given you in this presentation. So this is the end of our lesson for today. I hope that you get the most information from it, and next week inshallah Mr. Hilal is going to give you a revision for how to write or how to answer listening, grammar and reading, the 3 parts. He is going to revise it. I revised for you this lesson for the writing. Next week he will revise for you how to answer listening, grammar and vocabulary and reading. So until next week, it's time to say goodbye and see you next week.